Hey guys, how's it going? We're back again with another bike check. This is probably the one you guys have all been waiting for. It's my 2016 Yeti SB6. This bike has been seen in almost all my POV videos. This bike has been all over the world with me, from British Columbia to New Zealand. So the SB6 is their flagship enduro bike. What's cool about this bike, it comes with the Switch Infinity link, and that makes it be an awesome pedaler. Literally pedals like an XC bike uphill, but then when it gets to the downhills, it can just shred. This is probably the most capable bike I've ever owned. It's been a blast to ride. I've even had a couple sixes over the past 2 years. So now we're gonna delve into what makes my bike unique. For starters, just as a baseline, I'm 190 pounds and I'm 6'1". So currently I'm riding a large SB6 in turquoise, of course. That's the only color I would go with if I bought a Yeti. Also, we took the stock Float X off and we replaced it with a Float X2 with the climb switch. You don't really ever need the climb switch unless you're climbing up a road, but all the adjustment is great to have, and it's a great performing shock. We have about 195 PSI in the rear and only 2 volume spacers. The Switch Infinity link is awesome. It works great on the trail, but the only thing is you really have to maintain and service it to get the best performance out of it. So while we're talking about suspension, I actually have the 170mm Fox 36 RC2 on there. It rakes the front end out just a little bit and makes the bike that much more aggressive. So how I tune the suspension, I have the front rebound a tiny bit faster than the rear. I'm running it pretty slow all around, and then I run my suspension pretty stiff and very progressive. It helps me feel the trail and it feels really good. I'm currently running the fork with a 15mm through axle, and it's attached to some DT 1501 wheels. So what's special about the wheels is I'm actually running a 30mm front rim and a 25mm rear rim. That's because I run the 2.5 Minion DHF in the front and I run the 2.3 Aggressor in the rear. So it kind of makes the tire profile the same roundness front and rear, so it's very predictable through corners. Also, on the rear hub, I'm running a 54 tooth star ratchet, so it gives you really quick engagement on that rear wheel. I'm using Stan sealant, just what I've been using for years, haven't really gone to orange seal yet, which everyone says is amazing. So, how that fork is attached to my bike is through a Chris King headset. I wanted to go Chris King on the headset and the bottom bracket, just so I don't really have to mess with anything. They're really easy to service, and then I'm only gonna have one headset and one bottom bracket for the entire lifetime of the bike. We got the headset matching in turquoise to match the rest of the frame, and then unfortunately the bottom bracket's still black. Didn't get the color matched bottom bracket, but you can barely see it, so I'm happy with it. Attached to that headset is a Renthal Apex 50mm stem, and then we got the 30mm Rise Renthal Fat Bar Carbon. It's a limited edition, and no, I'm pretty sure you can't get your hands on one of these very easily anymore. Attached to that Renthal Carbon bar is full Saint brakes with 203 Ice Tech rotors in the front and a 180 Ice Tech rotor in the rear. The Ice Techs are really nice because they really help to cool down the braking. In New Zealand, we did a stage that maxed out at a 46% grade, and it was for 5 minutes, so the brakes did not even heat up down a 5-minute run down that steep of a hill. So I'm very impressed with the Shimano Saint brakes. So I've been flying a lot of places, traveling a lot, using my Evoc bike bag, and I found it's really easy to have the Ice Tech rotors. You just spin them off with one tool and the rotor's off, so your rotor doesn't get bent and chipping. And that's the only way to get the Ice Tech rotor, so it's a big plus in my book. The brake pads I run in the Shimano Saint calipers are mixed, so I'm running one resin on one side and one metallic on the other. I've mentioned this in my first video, Top 5 Pro Mountain Bike Hacks. So right now we're running the Ergon GD1 downhill grips, and they feel pretty good, but yeah, honestly I think I'm gonna go to those ODI Pro Elites, because those feel awesome. I also cut the flanges on my Ergon GD1 grips before I saw that article that Cody Kelly did on Pink Bike. So for all you haters, this was done about 3 months ago. So on that bar we have a Shimano XTR 11-speed shifter, paired with the medium cage Shimano XTR derailleur with an XT cassette. When it comes race season, I might go to the XTR, but the XT cassette is a lot cheaper at the moment. Also, for ease of use, I use a KMC chain, just because it has a master link and it doesn't have those pins you have to use on the Shimano chains. And that's paired with a 34 tooth 1-up chainring on a Shimano XTR crank. That was the gnarliest lightning I've seen in a while. So as you can tell, the Shimano XTR cranks are a little worn out. This bike has definitely seen some use, and I like it that way. It shows a little character. So the pedals are the Shimano XT pedals. They've been on probably my last 5 bikes. They're running strong. I love them, no issues with them, and they pretty much are gonna last forever. To match my Chris King turquoise headset, I actually got the turquoise derailleur hanger just to tie things in and make it look really nice. And one of my favorite bits on this bike, it's actually really small, but it just works and it's really clean. So the 1-up chain guide and bash. It's a super simple design and really light. And it does the trick with the bash guard, tucks up really nice in the chainring so it doesn't drop really low. Then when it comes time to take your crankset off, you have one bolt here that tilts up and makes it super easy to pull that crankset off. Another thing I did to kind of stop the mud from moving around is I put stickers over the holes in the back of the fork so no mud really gets clumped up there after a muddy day. I usually run one of those muck off guards on the back that just stick out like a fender. That helps you keep the mud out of your face and out of the GoPro and gimbal when you're filming the POV videos. So on to my cable routing. On the cable routing, I have it fully electrical taped all the way into the frame. And then in the frame, I actually have zip ties and bubble wrap on the down tube so I don't get any rattle while I'm going down the trail. These frames are pretty prone to rattle, so I definitely recommend fixing that if you can. So my butt is sitting on an Ergon SME3 saddle. Blue to kind of match the Yeti, I think it looks pretty good. It's been comfortable for me for all day rides. Also I have the Fox Transfer factory post with a 150 mil drop. The 150 mil just gets it all the way out of the way, so when you're hitting jumps and stuff, you never really get hit by that seat. I have a little custom sticker with my name on it with a state flag. Really like that small little touch. One of the ways I like to protect my bike is with the All Mountain Styles protective tape. I'll list and link the tape in the description. Also, on spots that don't need really gnarly tape, I'll be using the 3M helicopter tape all around my bike. So for the down tube, the seat tube, seat stays, just everything to make sure the rocks don't chip the paint. When we're talking about tires, I always try and run the double down in the rear. You just get the extra security with the double down casing that you're not going to flat. You can plow through those rock gardens and you should be fine. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've noticed that the rear spacing is very wide, so I've actually clipped it on rocks before. So I saw Nate Hills in one of his bike checks. He actually used an Ibis rear axle that doesn't have a little lever on the end, so you don't clip it on rocks and it's a lot cleaner of a setup. I'm thinking about purchasing that soon. One of the other unique things about my bike is I actually have grip tape on the rear upper post and the rear derailleur shifter. The grip tape just helps me have a positive feel, and in muddy conditions I don't slip off. So that's my bike, guys. I love it. Been a Yeti fan for years. Ever since my first mountain bike 10, 11 years ago, I got my first Yeti t-shirt, and I rocked that t-shirt without owning a Yeti all the way until I was 16, and I finally purchased my ASR 5, my first Yeti. So hopefully I can keep the Yeti lineage alive and keep getting some sweet Yeti bikes down the road. Yeti is just one of those sweet companies that's rider driven. That being said, you can feel that character in the bike when you're shredding it down the trail. This is the best bike I've ever owned. I can't wait to see where it brings me next. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I encourage you to subscribe if you want to see some more mountain bike content. I'll catch you guys out on the trails. Cheers.